I don't know what's going on with Star Wars, guys, but it's like on a fucking spiral, a downward spiral. The episode that we talked about last week, where I said Star Wars Mandalorian officially sucks now, is now officially the worst rated episode of all time. Funny enough, there's been people saying that it was awesome, that there was good story and progression in it. I think fucking not. Spoiler alert, real quick. If you haven't seen it yet, don't even worry about it. It's not worth your time if you were enjoying The Mandalorian, unless Bo-Katan is your most fucking favorite girl power fucking character of all time, and you don't even give a shit about Mondo as a character anymore. We had Lizzo, and I did say that I would give Lizzo the business. We all know that was halfway a joke. I mean, give me some Henny, maybe a couple shots. I'll go ahead and maybe at least, get the dick wet at least. But all seriousness aside, it's no secret that the Star Wars franchise has been going through a rough patch, so to speak. Kathleen Kennedy is literally like, I guess she hated George Lucas for whatever reason, because she's ruining every single thing that Star Wars was ever built on. Oh, Eric, all you fanboys need to realize that diversity's not bad and it's not going to go anywhere and blah. Oh, piss the fuck off. Anyways, the prequels, I remember when that was the problem, when the biggest problem of Star Wars was bitching about the prequels. Well, now it's bitching about all the fucking weird fucking woke shit that Star Wars is starting to put inside of it. And I know, oh, you're saying woke again. You're a quarter in one. Oh, gag me with a spoon. I mean, you can't deny there's poor writing in Star Wars right now as a whole. From the sequel trilogy to season 3 of Mandalorian, this whole series is just suffering from what Disney as a whole is suffering from, and that's poor writing, over-reliance on CGI, and it's just... it's not the same anymore. So I feel Mandalorian was a glimmer of hope for a lot of people. I feel that there was some of the best stuff in recent years that came out of the franchise, came directly from Mandalorian. And the first 2 seasons knocked it out of the park. But after the whole Gina Carano stuff, and Disney Star Wars just getting more and more insufferable with the wokeism, I just kind of like halfway checked out on this season. I actually honestly waited until last week to catch up on all of it, because I was like, ugh, I was just reading and seeing so much stuff. But it was a bright spot in the Star Wars universe. It had a great amount of storytelling. And again, the first 2 seasons were well received overall by critics and fans. But now we're starting to see a lot of nonsense with Lizzo, Jack Black, and Bo-Katan, girl power, boss girl bullshit. There's political messaging. Just overall, there's been a lot of stuff turning the fans off. And I could go all day on this, but you could tell for yourself looking at how the ratings are dropping. I feel the audience, the audience that the producers are trying to cater to is more of a wider audience, which... okay, yeah, money talks, right? But appealing to wider audiences with using, I guess, well-known celebrities like Lizzo and Jack Black, just kind of, I don't know. I feel it's like a watered-down attempt to appeal to a broader demographic that doesn't make up the majority of your fan base. You got to remember who your fan base is, the majority of your audience is, what they like, and that's how you become successful in anything. When you try to cater to everybody, that's when it becomes terrible, and that's why this is now the worst rated episode of the entire series. This article is a little bit old. I'm not going to go through it and stuff. I'm just kind of giving my cliff notes to it, but yeah, it's now officially the worst rated episode in the series. I dozed off initially watching this episode. I was like, ugh, what's going on? I dozed off, then I woke up like in the middle of the night, and I was like, wait a minute. Is that Christopher Lloyd? By the way, I do bath, but what this is right here is I used Flex Paste. You know the Flex Seal stuff? I was outside doing some work. Use Flex Paste, and this fucking spot will not come off my arm. And it's kind of like an STD, like how Star Wars now is an STD. You hope that it goes away, and then a whole bunch of new stuff pops up, and it's like, shit, we got Mandalorian Season 3 with Grogu and Mando kind of being thrown to the side, and Bo-Katan being the focus of it, and then we have the Acolyte coming out, and we have all this fucking I don't fucking know. It's like Jesus. So yeah, the lowest rated episode. I know using Lizzo and Jack Black's an attempt to create buzz, but I feel it ultimately backfired. There was a lot of fans that were criticizing the lack of substance. There was some cringe too, like when Grogu jumped up and sat in the lap of Lizzo and just became like her pet. Like the Grogu's supposed to be like this ultimate like Jedi manipulating like warrior that hasn't really seen his potential, and now he's being reduced to essentially being the lapdog, the Scooby-Doo of the series. Maybe even lower than Scooby. I'd say fucking Pluto at this point. Like, there's not been anything really memorable as far as like Grogu goes in season 3. Mandalorian himself, Din Djarin, has kind of been at the backside. In fact, it's all been about Bo-Katan at this point, with her seeing the mythical creature, her getting handed the fucking Darksaber. It's just, I don't know. And there are people saying that this is a review bomb scenario, that people are plummeting it. But no, you can't defend what we're seeing here. Like, I don't care who you are. How are you going to defend just how terrible of an episode this was? I know, oh, you gotta stop exaggerating, just let it ride down and blah, blah, blah. I feel the fans as a whole are just tired of the bad pandering, the bad writing, the bad, like, everything that Star Wars is having, and I've tried to let it slide. You know, there were parts of the sequel trilogy that I did like. I liked Force Awakens. I absolutely hated Last Jedi. I've only seen Last Jedi once, actually. I walked out of the movie theater and I told my friend Edwin, I was like, oh, that was the worst shit ever. What the hell's going on? Rise of Skywalker was okay, but it was still like a Frankenstein mishmash of like bullcrap. Solo, I enjoyed. I'll admit that. I like Solo. Rogue One, fucking amazing. But overall, I feel that they're too focused on trying to do like a cinematic universe that connects and focused on callbacks and references to other things. And I feel that they're doing too much. Like the beauty with Star Wars, in my opinion, was the simplicity of it, that it was a story, a tragedy, a modern day tragedy with a family that had a you know, character that had a redemption arc. They were good, they went bad, they went good again. Their son helped save them. It was awesome adventure. Now it's just like too much bullshit and too many like characters to keep up with that absolutely mean nothing to like the greater picture of what Star Wars is. But oh, Eric, you should just grow up and focus on this and that. No, dude, it's garbage, and that's where I'm gonna leave it at.